I'm going to take this this ignition coil off and basically take a look at the underside of it. These bolts are pretty rusty, so I want to just refine it. Okay, that one's coming off. Last thing you want to do when you come across an engine this rusty, start putting a lot of torque on the bolts. I've done that too many times, and they sometimes the head of the bolt just snaps off, and then you got more problems. So here's the ignition. I'll take that off. A little rusty underneath, but that really doesn't bother it. But it still is a mystery to me of where the kill wire went. Alright, well, I have another lawnmower that's got the same engine in it. We'll go snag the wire off that one, assuming it. Alright, so I wanted to show you here. This is the coil that came off of this not lawnmower, but lawnmower engine on a log splitter. And there was the kill wire was missing. And what I mean by the kill wire is, here is another coil that I took off the actual lawnmower that's got the same engine. And this wire here, which is just pushed onto this metal tab, this wire here goes to a switch or someplace to ground the engine, so that when it's time to shut the engine down, it'll ground out the coil, shut the power off to the spark plug, and kill the engine. Now look at the difference here. You see this tab is missing on this one that I'm working on, so it just got so rusty it broke off. So we're going to put the used coil back on this engine and see if we've got some spark. Do this, we're going to put that kill switch back on, the kill wire back on there, okay? And then this side faces up, and you want to turn this flywheel. There are magnets right here, and these magnets, as they fly past here, push out the spark to the spark plug. We're going to turn that wheel away. Oops, let's try not to mess up my governor linkage here. Turn it so that the magnets are not facing the coil at the moment. I'm going to take 2 screws. Turns out I grabbed the screws from the lawnmower engine. They're in much better shape than the screws that came out of this engine. And now we're going to tighten these, snug them up just a little bit. We're going to pull the coil away from the flywheel. See, it's on a slotted hole. So what we're going to do is pull it away from I'm going to snug it down a little bit. Well, look at that. We got 2 different size screws here. This was the original one. We're going to take that off of there. The new coil came with a larger head on the screw, so let's stick with that one. That's 5/16. Okay, now again, with it loose, pull it away from the flywheel, snug it down just a little bit, and then take a business card or an index card folded in half. Here's my Real Man Skills business card. And we want to slip it in here between the ignition coil, and then we want to swing this around so that the magnets are now facing the coil. Okay, the magnets are under the paper. And then we want to loosen these two nuts. And in doing so, the magnet will pull the coil toward itself, but because we have the paper in there, it won't quite be touching. Now we tighten this up. And then we can slide the paper out. And now the gap is the correct gap for in there. I think it's about 0.02. So that's the, I keep catching my linkage there. So now that the new coil is on, we'll start putting everything back together here. Alright, so looking at the linkage bracket, and I want to show you that when, okay, this is it in the run position, high position, and when you push it this way to slow down or stop the engine, notice right here there's a little metal tab here, and this metal tab makes contact with that, and that will kill the engine, because on the flip side, this bit of hardware here is not touching any of the metal around it because it's insulated with a piece of plastic underneath. So what you want to do is push this, it's like a spring-loaded little mechanism, and you take the kill wire and you push that down, slip the kill wire in there, and then release it, and now the kill wire is attached to this bit of metal that again is insulated from the rest of it. But then when you put this in the stop position, this piece of metal touches it, and that's what grounds out the engine. So that's how the kill operation works with this particular engine. So we're going to route this wire around. Okay, it came off. I'll have to tighten that up. Maybe we'll wrap it around here a couple of times, take up the slack, and then get this all put back together. So stay with me.